Hello, you can see that. All right, so I got some spaghetti I just made. All right, so what did I do today? Why is this important? It's not. It's not important. Not one bit. Not one damn bit. Not. It's not even close to being important. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. So what I did today was once I got up, I eventually journeyed to the gym. Now, I went to Planet Fitness because I have a membership there. And I walked in without a mask. And I knew this one guy was going to say something to me. Nobody else does, but this asshole does. What's up, Star? And he's like, yeah, you don't have a mask on, yada, 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 today. He said, but you got to come in with one on. I had one in the car, but I was like, screw it. I just didn't have the energy to care, so I left. I had just bought some food from Kroger, so I went home, put my food up, chilled for a minute, and then I went to Crunch Fitness. But I did wear my mask. And I worked out. And I noticed that, man, I've been sitting in this chair too long. Shoot. That 225 was heavy. I was only able to do 225 for one set of 10 and one set of 7. I usually do 4 sets of 10. I was like, boy, I got to get out more and get to the gym. So, yeah. I got to get to the gym. But I've been like going through this little cold or whatever. Not sleeping good. And the other day I had to move a fridge. And when I was moving that fridge, I was like, oh, this thing is extra heavy. I mean, it took me a minute to get it together with that big ass fridge. And then the stove, I could usually take a stove and sling it around. I mean, I could literally pick up a glass top stove, and just, But man, I've been struggling in the strength area because I haven't been doing much. So I need to change it all up, because I ain't been sleeping well. My house got invaded by bugs, so I've been getting up in the middle of the night and looking for them because that's the only way to stop them. And then it took me weeks to find out where they were coming from. I finally got the majority of them out. But, they still pop up every now and then. And I was trying to figure out where these damn things coming from. They're hiding in the vent. So after copious bottles of Raid, I start using diatomaceous earth. And they can't stand that stuff. But they still pop up every now and then. One popped up on my computer the other day. I'm looking right at it like, damn. They'll still show up. So, if you have roaches, if you got bed bugs, if you got anything with a shell, go get yourself some diatomaceous earth. And you'll thank me later. Sprinkle it all around your house. They can't stand it. Get the kind that kills bugs. The kind that you put in plants because it's edible. So get that kind. But that's what I did. But that's why I've been tired because I ain't been sleeping. Because, I'm paranoid. I'm waking up because one of them crawled on me. And I ain't been sleeping right since. But I got to get back in the gym. So I started today. I've been procrastinating. And once I got warmed up, I was like, okay, I still got some hurt in my muscles. You know, my shoulders was just like, my shoulders. I forgot what the deltoid, I forgot what cluster this is. But on both sides, I was feeling some pain. So I couldn't do too much shoulder stuff. Now, I've had an operation on this shoulder. That's what this is for. So they went in there and did their thing with that. My bicep was trying to come off there. So I had a rotator cuff tear twice, but I only had one operation. So I said, forget it. I'm not going to bench press too much anymore. I stopped bench pressing, and then I went ahead and I was doing some, dumbbell presses. And then after that, I said the dumbbell presses was good. After I did some dumbbell presses, I felt good. It doesn't hurt too much doing dumbbell presses. But that bench press, that bench press was hurting me. So I had to do some dumbbell presses with just some 60s. I wasn't trying to impress nobody. I just said I'm going to do some 60s. Then I went ahead and after that, I went ahead and did some curls. I started with some 35s, and I was like, oh, this is heavy. It's just that I'm tired is what it is, because I ain't been eating right. So I was like, 35 should not be heavy, but it was. So I got in the groove of it. Then I hit 22s and the 20s. And then I hit curl bar with 50. And after that, I did some boxing, elbow, kick. I did that for, 10, 15 minutes. I felt great because I slowed down. I wasn't really trying to hit it too hard. I go hard for a second and then slow down, take my time. I didn't care about who was in there. People watch you, but I'm not a martial artist. I just seen some stuff and was just like, can I do that? So, I was throwing some kicks and then trying a little this and that, but my moves are so slow. I would never use these moves in a fight. I wouldn't try to spinning back fist anyone in a fight because I would get knocked out. I'm just way too slow. So what I decided is, for one, I'm going to start eating again so my energy can get up. And I'm going to start doing more like cardio stuff, more push-up stuff. I'm going to get back on that. And I'm going to do, instead of heavyweights, I'm going to do like dumbbell stuff. Because I like to go in there and see if I can still bench 315. I can, but it's just not important. What's important is, being able to move. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can go in there and bench 315. It doesn't make a difference. I want to be able to, get somebody off of me. And sometimes, being able to lift a lot of weight doesn't help you as much as you think it would when it comes to combat. You'll see a big guy get beat up when it comes to combat, especially if your wind is off. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on: food, getting my lungs right. You know what I'm saying? Calisthenics. I got these knees be tripping. So I got to figure out a way how to get those in order. But that's what I'm going to do. A lot of ground stuff. Because most time when you compete with somebody in a fight, it's on the ground. It just doesn't take long before it hits the ground. And there are so many ways that you can end up there. But what you don't want to do is end up on the ground and not know what to do. You know what I mean? Because so many, you're just used to standing. But you don't want to hit the ground and not know what to do on the ground. You don't want to get down there and panic and fold up. You want to get down there and you can still win a fight. If you know what you're doing, if you don't panic and you have some type of control, you can still take your opponent out of here real quick. leg locks, arm bars. Most people don't know that stuff until you study it. Simple chokeholds and all kind of stuff uh, that you can learn. What up, reluctant? Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a martial artist, but I'm getting older, so I still want to be able to, if a young buck run up on me, I still want to be able to you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Even if I hit him slow motion, I still want to be able to get up on out of here. I knock your young behind on out of here. You know what I'm saying, young buck? You gotta do that because people are trying. People, the gym I go to, people try you in the gym. I already had one guy try me. I just smiled at him like, bro, don't make me use every bit of energy I got. Some big white boy too. I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be bad if I got to do this. If I got to do this with him, it's gonna be a bad deal. He can tell by the look on my face when he saw me again that I'm not the one. Don't come over here and do it again. Don't come over here and say nothing. Don't mess with nothing I got going on because I'm tired, I'm old, and I'm in pain. And that just equals I'm going to come at you with everything that I want, everything. I'm going to bite you. I'm going to knee you. I'm going to elbow you. I'm going to do everything I can to damage you. And, then I'm going to go to the hospital, and that's fine with me. I can lay up on a gurney and be like, I gave it my damn best. And I know he's going to remember that I fought him. So I'm okay. Patch me up. Let me go home. You know what I'm saying? I got health care. Patch me up. Let me go home. You know what I'm saying? So be careful out there. But I'm telling you guys, try to stay in some type of shape. Have some type of physical decorum about you. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught off guard. And I watch a lot of world star hip hop. I like practicing. Yeah, capoeira. Oh my God, that stuff is so hard. It keeps you, yes, it does. Yeah. That capoeira, man. The real capoeira is actually quite deadly. It's actually used with two knives. It's Brazilian, some technique that they use. It's actually meant to, with two knives. It's actually meant to, just like this is not somebody you want to face who's like a master capoeira. Yeah, like this is not what I wanted it like. If you're in Walmart, you just happen to get in an argument with some guy, and the guy just bends over and touches his hand to the ground, and his leg just comes out just walk away. Just you know what? You was first in line. You was in line first. I don't know what I was thinking about. But hey, can I buy you a Snickers bar or something? Soda? I mean, damn. I don't want this noise. I'm in the truth in Texas and in Brazil. You're in Texas right now? Yeah, I don't want that noise. It's just you know what I'm saying? I don't want to compete with yeah, you're in Texas. Yeah. I don't want to compete with somebody who's got all those skills. It's like your ribs are gonna be, I just don't want that noise. Well, be careful out there. You a whole G for going out there. That place is crazy out there. Spaghetti, meatless, just some spaghetti I threw together. It's gonna give me some energy tonight. That's the bad part about it. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna go to bed around 9:30, right? I'm gonna wake up at 1 o'clock. I won't go back to bed till 5. Okay, well, just be safe. I'll pray for you. But yeah, you guys have some type of decorum. Get down there, do some push-ups. I don't care how old you are. Hit the bag. Go to the gym, hit the bag. Men, women, hit the bag. I'm going to tell you why you should hit the bag. Even though you probably had no boxing skills whatsoever, no proper boxing, this is why you should hit the bag and not care what anybody else has to say, unless they're going to teach you. This is why you should hit the bag. Because your fast twitch muscles and your awareness is what you're really practicing. The children keep you in the... Yeah, hit the bag. Like, just, and some females, they was portly. And I was like, walked up to him. I saw him trying to hit the bag. I was like, hey, come here. Hit the bag like, boom. I said, get in a proper stance. And, you could tell they never hit anyone in their life. But they were at the gym hitting the bag. These two round women, young females too. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Just that I need to, what I'm saying? They just had that, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to hit something. I don't know why. It's probably not going to be very hard. And it wasn't. They was hitting it like, and I was like, nah, y'all got all that, you got all that weight behind you. If you just one good solid, but there's a video on World Star Hip Hop where this middle-aged white woman, heavyset, or she was thick, let me say that. She got off the bus, she was flipping out. She got off a bus, right? And she ran in front of the bus. And then she was mad at the bus driver about something, came back to the front of the bus and hit it one time. Pow! And she didn't even wind up to do it. She was yelling and did something and she went, pow! The whole glass cracked. Do you know how hard it is to crack that glass? She hit that thing one time and had her hand on her purse. It was like, pow! It went. And I was like, it is hard. Yo, I'm trying to tell you now, no normal person can just walk up and do that. And she hit it with the soft of her hand. She didn't even hit it with her fist. She ain't put no weight into it, nothing. It was just amazing. She didn't go like this. She went like this. She ain't put none of all this into it. She just went, bow. It came from here, bow, and she broke that glass. Well, she cracked it. She cracked the glass. One more time, and that glass would have had it. You know what kind of strength it is? And you're looking at this lady like you would never expect Molly to have strength like that. She cracked the snap out of that glass. There's a guy in, I don't know what country he was in, but it wasn't America. Three young guys all day. One guy was walking down the street. These two young guys pulled up on a bike. They rob you a lot on them bikes. Pulled up on a bike, jumped off the one in the back, jumps off the bike. This is how you know you're about to get robbed. Was trying to rob old boy. Old dude pulled out the banger. When he pulled out the banger, he shot this dude. Clap! Dude fell down. The other dude took off on the bike. This is a motorbike, not a pedal bike. Took off on the bike. Dude fell down. The way he fell. He didn't fall down like, Street Fighter. He fell down like, did you just shoot me? And he hit the ground, and he got back up, and he took 1, 2, 3, and he was gone. I swear to God, I've never seen nobody run so fast in my life. He ran so fast that he caught up to the guy on the bike. Kid you not. He caught that guy. He just hit the ground and and there was smoke coming from his shoe. You can see the dust literally kicking up from his shoes. He was moving, and the other guy who shot him, he didn't even bother to try to shoot him again. He was looking as amazed as everybody else. It's on World Star Hip Hop. You're not gonna believe it until you actually see it. This guy got shot at point blank range, got up, and took off like he was running a 100-yard dash and caught that. I'm telling you, he ran faster. This guy was probably running. I ain't gonna lie. He looked like he hit about 35, 40 miles an hour. I kid you not. And scientists say that people can actually run 40 miles an hour. That should be our standard speed. I'm telling you, that guy hit 40 miles an hour. He was not running like a regular person. And all you saw was dust. It looked like a road runner. All you saw was dust come up. He was gone. It was amazing. So there is a lot of strength and a lot of, there was a story recently where this guy, there was this young lady who got trapped up under a car. This is a regular dude here in America. He actually was able to pick up the side of the car and raise it off its wheels so she could get out. And they interviewed him and they said, "How did you pick up the car?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I just reached up under there and I started lifting the car and the car just started coming up." He said, "I don't know how I did it." White guy, middle age, 40. Doesn't look like he lifts a whole bunch of weight. He lifted up a car. So there's a lot going on with us that we don't know about. Now, if you're old like me, that story sounds familiar. And the reason why it would sound familiar is because it was on a TV show called, let's see if you know the TV show that it was called, where that storyline was in it. I'm just going to see who knows. I'm just going to see who knows where that storyline, that same story arc was in there, but it was a black female who saved her daughter. Exactly. The Incredible Hulk. David Banner, Bill Bixby, rest in peace. But David Banner was trying to figure out why he could not save his wife in a car crash. And this is what led him to investigate into, super soldier serum and all that and turn him into the Hulk. But the woman was like, "I don't know. I just lifted up the car." And when I saw that, even as a child, I was like, I believe that's highly possible. Well, you got people who are actually doing it, and this car is 2,000 to 4,000 pounds. You got people who go to the gym and struggle all the time just to get, 225 up. This guy picked up 4,000 pounds. He picked it up. Here's another video showing a guy picking up the back of a trailer truck. And the reason why he did it is because he wanted to move it closer to the curb. So he picked up the whole back of the truck and it lifted up and he moved it. You can see him moving it. So there are people who have super strength and super speed out there. They don't want to be public. They don't want to be public. That really wasn't what this was all about. It was just hanging out with me, but nonetheless. So yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym more. I think I'm going to do at least twice a week. I mean, it's automatically paid for. And I'm going to just, I've been doing sit-ups too. So I've been working on the belly. I've been right here. I've been trying to get this together because, you gotta have, I don't know, people. If you got a belly, you probably, I used to do planks. I used to do it in the morning while my breakfast was cooking, but it didn't make me lose weight. I don't know if you guys have noticed lately, but I have been losing weight. Not sure why, because I've been doing actually a lot less. but I've been losing weight. So my face has gotten smaller, and I went. One of you had mentioned that I look like I'm losing weight. As a matter of fact, two of you did. So I jumped on the scale, and the scale said that I lost almost 10 pounds. What's that? Spaghetti, girl. Yeah. But I got it with fettuccine noodles. So, Star, don't be biting my style. Let me talk to you like a New Yorker. Don't be biting my style, because I know how y'all do in Brooklyn. Y'all will bite it. Y'all will bite my style in Brooklyn. So don't bite my style of spaghetti. Star, I see you. I see you. You have heard about the coffee. You know what? Let's talk about that coffee thing. So it's coffee and lemon, and I think it's honey. So I have been, you know what? That's probably it. I've been taking honey every day. Stop press. And I mean just a little Kroger honey with the little bear. I just been, open it up, take a dab. That's what's been going on. Because I'm like, why am I losing weight? It's the honey. You still practice breaking board with my hands? Well, that's because you're a whole G. I finally understand hitting harder than I can. Yes, because you're a whole G. Hey, I lost 10 pounds just by taking honey every day. Just honey, boom. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to advertise it, but I'm just saying it's a good, honest source of energy. And I've been taking honey every day. Just, Also need to make sure I keep taking these blood pressure medicine. I had a dizzy spell the other day. It wasn't good. I've been practicing my chi still. What up, Polo? Yeah, I've been still practicing my chi. Flow of energy. Gotta do that. Because when you're in pain, chi helps. When you're in, some kind of position that you don't want to be in, you can't get out. Chi helps you concentrate, helps you meditate. Chi also is another source of energy that you can use when you get tired. It'll help you recover because your body's not using the energy that comes from food. So let's just say you went out running. So let's just say you went out running. You know what I'm saying? You ran 75% for, 100 yards. You're going to be like, your hands might be on your hips a little bit. If you start channeling your chi, you'll recover a lot faster. Now, you keep doing that, then eventually when you run as hard as you can, when you get to the finish line, instead of collapsing like a lot of people do, falling all over the damn place, you can actually summon your chi and recover faster. And it's free energy. It's everywhere. But what we talking about? Just talking, man. Right now we talk about chi. Start sleeping in linen. Okay, so you want to talk about the whole cotton thing? About how you should only have cotton on you because it's some type of energy signature. So if you have stuff that's like mixed with rayon and all that other stuff, you're not really supposed to wear that. You're supposed to wear stuff with cotton on it, but cotton is, it can be expensive trying to find something that's 100% cotton. But let me add to that. So if you guys start studying chi, yeah, look at the science. What I'm saying is if you start studying chi, you're going to notice that, for one, it's free energy. Anybody can do it. Some people can channel it better than others. It's just practice. And it can be used for a food source. It could be used for strength. I use it for speed. It can be used for healing. And it can also be used for a unseen defense. Now, the person who actually created chi was able to use. Have anybody ever heard of the lion's roar? It's a martial art technique that was illustrated in Kung Fu Hustle. If you ever seen Kung Fu Hustle, the woman in Kung Fu Hustle was a master at the lion's roar. And you would think that, oh, Kung Fu Hustle is just fake, yada, yada, yada. Turns out that it is actually a thing. It's called a tiger's roar. Lions and tigers, but especially tigers, had the ability to nullify and she smoked. They actually have the ability to cripple a prey by just its growl over a distance. This is not when it's right in front of you. This thing is at a distance. They can use their voice and stun that animal. I mean, tigers are just ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're just ridiculous. But this is true. Look it up. A tiger can do this. So, yeah, frequently they have the ability to use their voice to stun their prey. I mean, how crazy is that? If you were able to stun your prey or your opponent and just walk away from them. Well, the person who found out about chi was able to do just that. As a matter of fact, he was able to injure you with his voice. He was able to hit you with a high impact wave simply from sound. And it was all using chi. He hit you with a high impact wave, it was gonna shatter your organs. That's what it did. It broke you down from the inside. And it hit you. It didn't, was I just hit? No, he went, and it went, pow. And it all came from here. But he knew how to use his chi to amplify his voice, to amplify sound waves. And once it hit you, pretty much a done deal. Now, an illustration of that was also in one of Keanu Reeves' movies called Master of Tai Chi. So if you ever seen Master of Tai Chi where Keanu Reeves was the bad guy, Keanu Reeves was telling this guy who was using Tai Chi, he says, I know that you have more in you. But this guy didn't want to use what he knew because he knew it was deadly. So once he came up against Keanu Reeves was pretty much about to kill him. He pretty much was hitting him with the show me what you can do. And the guy finally got upset, did one of these numbers, and bam, hit Keanu with a wave force of Tai Chi. He started bleeding from the inside and fell over. Listen, that is not just a movie. That is something that actually does and can and has happened to people before. So just look it up. Look up the Tiger's Roar, and then look up Tai Chi. And these are things that people actually. I mean, imagine living in a country where people actually had these crazy speeds and strength, and if you didn't practice, this stuff, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like you don't have no chance. People don't understand the knowledge taken from us. Yeah, they really don't. But I'm one of these people who I use chi. I've never used it in a fight. I use it a lot now because back hurts. When I get dizzy spells, I use it to center myself. Um, I use it whenever I go swimming because swimming wears me out. So whenever I'm trying to catch my breath, I need to catch it faster. I use chi and it calms me down quicker. Also, when I hit the bag, I use chi. So I use it, I absorb it, and I use it on my reflexes. So I can hit something faster, but not use a bunch of energy. That's really what chi is. Food is energy, right? So you eat your food in order so you can have energy to go do whatever. But but chi is another form of energy. So you can use chi at any given time. Now there are some people who don't have to eat. So there's one young lady, and I don't know how old she is now. She's probably a teenager. But when I saw her story, she was around 8 or 9 years old. She would eat every 3 days. And she got hit by a car, and it dragged her 5 miles until they realized that there was a girl up under the car. When they saw her, she got up and walked away like nothing happened. She didn't have one mark on her body, not one. Her skin is not invulnerable, but it's very, very tough. And they talked to her mother, and her mother was like, I don't know how that happened. She's like, I just don't know how it happened. She said, but I only have to feed her once every 3 days. There's another guy who puts his hands in bear traps and lets them close. He'll let the whole bear trap slam on him, and he'll have his hand in there. Not how to break any normal person's hand, but it closes on his hand, and he just opens it up and takes it out like nothing. So these techniques are, being used, even involuntarily. There's a guy in India who hasn't eaten in 30 years. They didn't believe him, so they put a camera on him 24/7. Doesn't eat, does not eat food. He's like, I survive off the energy around me. In other words, chi. He is a master at using chi. He summons it, and his body uses it for everything that he needs. And he isn't weak. He isn't, sick. He's not none of that. His body is constantly. See, what I think he did was, I think how he mastered chi was he either got sick or he just got tired of eating, which some people do. And what he did was decided, I'm going to fast. And that's another thing. When people fast, they decide, I'm going to go on a 2-day fast. They made up their mind that I'm not going to eat or eat certain things and or eat as much. So they go on a 2-day fast. Well, shortly after that, they find out that, that wasn't that bad. Then they go on a 7-day fast and go all the way up to a 30 to 40-day fast, being like Christ did in the Bible. And once you hit a 40-day fast, you don't eat anything. You start to think, well, am I tired? Am I, can I still do what I usually do? The answer is yes. What you can't do is exert a high amount of energy. That's what you can't do. So you're not going to go out and run around the track every day. Eventually your body's going to call on some type of energy source. But if you start using your chi, you will not have to eat food until you do. But mind you, when you do, your stomach's going like this. The less and less you eat, the more and more it's doing this. So there is a practice there, that you guys can get into. And I haven't been eating as much lately. And I think I'm just going to start some of these practices because they're just good for you. You know, so one thing I stopped doing is I stopped eating McDonald's, even though I don't really go, I'm never going to eat it again. I don't gravitate towards it, you know, like I used to. So there's that. And yeah, I'm starting, you know, I cook more of my own stuff. I just don't trust people anymore because people are doing all kind of crazy stuff out there. But yeah, if you guys want to, you know, kind of get your body together, stop eating as much. You know, stop believing that you have to have 3 meals a day. That is nowhere. I'm living proof of that. I do not eat 3 meals a day. I'm telling you guys right now, I don't eat 3 meals a day, not even close to it. And here's the thing: when I do go out and eat like that, when I start eating 3 meals a day, what it does is it gives me energy, but it's like faux energy. You know what I mean? Like I'll go to the gym. Of course, I can, you know, lift through a bunch of stuff. But then after I use this high energy and intense energy, I'm home and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm almost groggy and lethargic. And now I'm thinking, I need to pack it in some more. And that's where people make the mistake. They're like, I need to eat. Some people eat 6 times a day. Now these people, you know, practice martial arts and stuff like that. Uh, that's fine. That's what they want to do. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, the healthier thing, it might not to be exactly to eat more. The healthier thing might, yeah, the healthier thing might not be to eat more. Because we know that our food causes us a lot of problems. And a lot of it is in the mucus, you know, and that's where a lot of our problems start. And if you start eating things that are a defense against mucus, then you're going to start feeling a lot better. You know, that's just it. You know, black uh, peppers, all kind of peppers. You know, cucumbers. You know, things along that. Artichokes. There's just all kind of stuff that you can eat, that and all kind of little plants that you can eat that will help out your digestive system, and you're not going to want to go back to these things. However, some of this stuff is expensive. So I went to look at black seed oil. Black seed oil from GNC was $26. I was like, do I want to spend? And when people eat black seed oil, they eat it with turmeric and honey. So there's that. Also, the whole losing weight thing with coffee is what they're doing is they're coffee and lemon. So they're just taking the regular coffee and then putting lemon in it and go ahead and ingest it that way. Of course, you know, you got your green teas, you got your, other stuff that's out there. But yeah, so there's like a whole health list. And, and I was thinking about that. And I said, for every cell, there's a frequency, right? For every cell, there's a frequency. According to the word, we used to live. You look at how long people lived back in the day. They lived 900 years, and they were okay. They could still see, from here to Mount Everest. We live 50 years and we run into major problems. Hell, we run into problems around 35 to 40. So what we're ingesting is not good for us. It's just not. We're eating a lot of things that are killing us, is basically it. Now, our bodies are amazing. They can do things far greater than what we've been doing. And when somebody does something great, we think that this is abnormal when it should be normal. It should be normal to see somebody run 35 miles an hour. Should be normal. Fastest person that we know of on record to date can only run, as if I can do it, 28 miles an hour. That's fast, but it's not the peak and the epitome of what humans can actually do. It's not even close. I mean, we could almost double that speed. I mean, just imagine seeing some tween, going to soccer practice and running beside you. And you're like, this little girl is... And then you're looking at the speedometer like, this little girl's running 40 miles for the last 5 miles. Getting it in. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do, and it starts off with your food. So, also, I was thinking that if you found your energy signature, everybody has an energy signature. If you found out what your frequency is, then you can find out what item that you're eating and or items match your energy signature. When you find this out, I believe, for one, you'll live longer and you'll be a lot stronger. And listen, it's not going to cost you a great deal of money. It's not a special something that came out of Egypt 5 million years ago. No, it's something that's right outside. Just like dandelions. I always used to look at dandelions going, I know there's something special about them. Come to find out that, there's special healing powers and all that other stuff that are right there in your front yard, in your backyard. You mow it down every day. Every day you kill something that can help you with whatever problem you have. Every single day you walk right on it like it's nothing. That's because you know what you're walking on, because we don't live off of the land. Yeah, we don't look at grass and think of grass's purpose. We look at grass and think about grass's annoyance. The only thing people like about grass is the color. Turns out that, grass and weeds and stuff like that, they all have medicinal properties. All of it. Everything that you see outside has some type of... Listen, you were made in God's image. God did not make the world to be against him. He made the world for him, and he made it for you. They don't want us to know about the healing. I mean, it's even more than that. Look, I still think that humans can fly. I think the average human... Look, if I ever figured this out and I started to fly, of course they would go ahead and try to get me going up out of here. But if that wasn't the case, and somebody says, how can you fly? You know what my answer would be? How can you not? How is it that you're not able to fly? I still think humans can do this because Jesus did it. And you're like, well, he's Jesus. I'm like, according to the scriptures, he's just like us. That was the whole point. He's just like you. If he can die for your sins, if you're made in God's image, you're not too far-fetched from Jesus. And Jesus said, you'll do greater things than I did. I'm telling you, humans can fly. How? I don't know. But we know that Gravity itself is a lie. We know this. We know that we've never been to the moon. Never been there. Never. We know that there are birds that are stuck in midair. Just like this. And they're alive. They're breathing. But their wings aren't flapping. They're just stuck. Look at the videos. And then some people will come along with a stick and will jab the bird and the bird will start flying. Gravity is not a law. It's not. I don't know what it is, but it's not a law. Albatrosses. I do not know what that word means, but you're smarter than me, so. Nonetheless, I'm saying, people, don't settle for the pain. Don't settle for your teeth falling out. Don't settle for your skin wrinkling out. Don't settle for getting old. I'm not going to do that. Those are the birds you are talking about. No, but they've shown different birds. They've shown different birds. And there's videos of cars going to a intersection, and all of a sudden, all these cars just start floating up like this on their ends, and nobody. It is broad daylight, and it's like, why are all these cars tilted up like this and being tossed around like it's nothing? But none of them completely come off the ground. It's like they're on strings, and somebody took a string in it. Send me one. I want to see it. But nonetheless, these are different birds. The birds are huge. And they're no, not the one I seen. The last one I seen was a white bird. It was no bigger than a pigeon. It's no bigger than a pigeon. And it was just stuck there in midair. Then that's another one I seen was a black bird. Looked like, I don't know, no bigger than a sparrow. It was stuck there. As a matter of fact, this one was actually flapping, but it wasn't going anywhere. Then I've seen other ones where they're just stuck in the sky. No, this is happening all over the place. We've seen, then you have the report of that floating city. Look, there's a lot just going on. I'm saying people don't settle for what we're being told. You are far and away more stronger than what you think. I mean, I go to the gym. I bench press 225 today 10 times, and I felt like oh my God, like why was I not able to do this more? Well, see, that's the wrong way of thinking. I shouldn't be thinking, why wasn't I able to bench press 225 more? I should have been thinking, one, why do I need to bench press 225? Two, if I want to bench press 1,000 pounds, why can't I do it? And the answer would be, you don't have the strength to do it. But then you start thinking scientifically, I would need enough torque in order to lift something, and the only way to get it through is muscles and through muscle training. But if you take away all of that, you go, let's just take away muscle training. Let's take away muscle training, right? This is how most people gain torque in order to lift something. Take away muscle training. Take away what comes with that, which is I need to eat, I need to practice, I need to have form, so on and so forth. What if you didn't need none of that and you could lift 500, 600 pounds easy? What if there was an energy source out there that is natural to you and everyone else, and it allows you to lift a colossal amount of weight? Colossal. With ease. You go, what is that energy source? I'm like, well, for one, it's probably cheap, but it is a high level of it. It is you would have to practice it for years, and it would have to be passed down to you like an old wives' tale. Listen, when you look at Egypt and what was built, when you look at the ziggurats over here in America, when you look at, the American, over there in the Grand Canyon, and you look at, the pyramids that are right here in the Grand Canyon, and when you start looking all the way around the world, and everywhere around the world there's a pyramid, one person didn't know the secret. Everybody was able to use super strength. Then when you start looking at the Bible, and the Bible starts talking about these people who would summon this strength, Samson, David did it as a child. David killed a lion and a bear. But it doesn't say David was a big man. David was not a colossal individual. How did he do it? How did he kill a 400-pound animal, a lion and a bear? How? Was it a little lion, little bear? No, it's probably a big-ass lion, a big-ass bear, and he killed both of them. How was he able to do that? He had over 700 concubines. These are women he was sleeping with, and he had like 8 wives. He was some type of super dude. But how? It doesn't say anything about how David was super. Like the stuff that he ate, what was passed down to him, doesn't say anything. It just says he was able to do these feats. You got to start thinking about that. Samson's hair made him so strong that he killed more Philistines when he knocked down the building than he ever did on the battlefield. Just think about the story of Samson. Samson was out killing Philistines. Now, I know some of you know more than this, but let me get this out. I'm making a point here. I'm not somebody who reads the Septuagint, all right? I don't go through the book of Maccabees, so don't hit me with all this because I'm going to ignore you. What I'm saying is, if you look at the simple story of Samson, when he, turn this music off for a second, get a different song. Okay, so when Samson was killing the Philistines, right? Then they sent a woman out, pretty much to have sex with him, so it become Chatty Cathy. So he trusted her, with his passcode. That's what he did. He trusted her with her security code. And she was like, how are you so strong? Now, they must have been intimate for this to happen, because that's how you get to a man's weakness. So he gave her, the security code. It was just like my hair. This is how I'm so strong. Delilah goes back, the story. She tells them, how he's so strong. They capture him, cut his hair off, and blinded him. Why did they blind him? Then, so on and so forth happens. They tie him up in the building, 2 pillars, and his hair's growing back. And they don't notice that his hair is growing back. They know he's strong because of his hair. You don't see rocks start coming down his head. You just thought nothing of it while you were laughing at him. And one day his hair grows to the point where he could bring down 2 pillars. Now, when you start dissecting that, you go, how long was his hair? For one, why his hair? But 2, how long was his hair from the beginning? How much hair did he have when he was killing Philistines? Okay, so how much hair equates enough strength to kill Philistines on the battlefield like it's nothing? And then how much hair equates enough to bring down 2 pillars? 2 pillars. And once he brought those pillars down, you got to understand the people who were inside of that building weren't only warriors. They were Democrats. They were, they were Democrats. They were, every other crack you can, the president, whatever. He did it on purpose. The whole thing of him getting caught, he never got caught off guard. He didn't tell Delilah that, it's my hair and it was a oops moment because, they had sex. No, he planned it. He planned the whole thing. He had to have. He planned the whole thing because you can kill warriors all day. But when you kill the people who are controlling the warrior, that's the end of the war. That's what he did. He's like, how can I get in there? And he saw a whole plan, he made the whole thing. But when you got to think about it, is why his hair? Why? See, his hair was longer when he was killing on the outside than it was when he killed everyone on the inside. So you got to understand that he's like, I have enough strength to kill these people right here and now. So I'm going to kill enough to them where they're going to bring me on the inside. Now you start listening to these stories, it sounds a lot like the Trojan horse. Once we get on the inside, behind the gates, we're able to kill everyone. King Priam died. Troy was destroyed because they got inside. Same thing with Samson. He killed everyone in one swoop because he was able to get on the inside. Now, of course, it took longer, but nonetheless, like I said, how much hair did he have when he was killing the soldiers, and how much did he have after they cut his hair off and then it grew back? He had less when he tore those pillars down than he did when he was out there killing people. But still, why the hair? Why? Why would God bless you and bless your hair? See, these things like that are not a one-off. Somewhere there is a Samson on this planet still running around. Somewhere there is a child who can kill a lion and a bear. Somewhere on this planet. And it doesn't matter what color they are, it's true. There's somewhere where there's a child who is stronger than most men. So I'm saying the Bible gives us illustrations of strength. And we think, oh, that was 2,000 years ago. Human beings don't change. It's just the times that changed. The body is still the same. We still got the same amount of organs. We still got the same amount of this, that, and the third. We just look one way or another. If David was doing this, and if Samson was doing this, if Jericho can blow down a whole wall with a horn, listen, do you think Jericho was special, or do you think the horn was special? I mean, think about that. If you would listen to most people, they say the horn was special. I say Jericho was special. I think the horn was just a horn. I do. But if you go and look at, there was a movie that talked about Jericho's horn. It was called The Prophecy. There was 3 prophecies made. But if you look at the prophecy in one with Christopher Walken, he was talking about Jericho's horn. He was also talking about the Nephilim and a Raphael. So, okay. Let's go there. Let's go if you look in the Bible and you look when the Israelites were wandering around Mount Seir. They were walking around Mount Seir for 40 years, right? And God, if you look at what is the book of Deuteronomy, if you look at what the Lord was telling the people, telling his Israelites, they saw that there were people up in Mount Seir who did not look like them. And the Lord said, and they were like Ammonites and stuff like that. And the Lord said, do not go up there and mess with those people, because I'm not going to give you any of those land. And he said, I use those people in order to kill the giants. These are people that were in the Caucasus Mountains. White people. He said, I use those people to kill the giants. Now, you got to start thinking about this. How big were these giants? And what did these people use to kill the giants? And why couldn't the Israelites kill the giants? Okay, so if you look at the land of Canaan, when they went and scoped out the land of Canaan, what did they say? There are giants in the land. And this is when the Lord started talking to Gog and Magog, who were giants. Say to Gog and Magog. They were two different people. Say to Gog and Magog. And this is when God started talking to them. He wanted them to get out the land of Canaan. So, so as people can go into the land of Canaan. What I'm saying is, okay, and then when you look at the flood, right? When you look at the flood was created so God could get rid of all the evil people and evil beings. He was really trying to get rid of the Nephilim and the Rephaim, right? Because they were committing heinous crimes. And God wanted a do-over. But when you read Genesis 1 and 6, it says that they were in those days and after the flood. So either one, these creatures, these Nephilims, survived the flood, or the angelic host came into the daughters of man again. Which brings us to current times. What makes you think that they're still not doing it? You see what I mean? See, we don't see giants around here. We just hear about them. We don't see giants. But if there was a giant running around here right now, tearing everything up and doing the same thing that those giants did back in the day, what do you think God would do? He would destroy them. But who's to say that the angels still aren't having relationship with the sons of men and giving them certain abilities and powers? It says in those days and after. Now, of course, those weren't the only people and or beings that who had abilities to and strengths. There were Indians that fought against the giants. That wasn't too long ago. There are now in Iraq, in the mountains of Kabul and all that, where they're saying, or Iran, Iraq, one of them, where they're saying there are redhead giants there. And the army went over there and found some. And one of them killed a whole bunch of military guys. And they were shooting them with M16s. Now, I don't think everyone has some super strength, super speed, or super something. But in order for man to survive alongside of these creatures, we were a lot stronger, faster, and smarter then than we are now. Why? Because we rely on technology. Technology is our enemy. Technology makes us fat and slow. That's what it does. Sit in front of your computer and watch your TV, watch your computer, watch your phone, watch what everybody else is doing. Technology makes you fat and slow. The technology they're trying to use to go into space is a lie. There is no outer space. There's a dome up over your head and there's an ocean. It says it right in the Bible. All this Mars and Pluto nonsense, it's nonsense. You're not going past the Van Allen belts. You're not getting out there. It's not going to happen. You never will. You're never going to Mars. It's all a lie. But what isn't a lie is your relationship to God and what you actually are. You are far more stronger, faster, and smarter than what this world is telling you, because they're slowing you down. They're telling you to eat certain things. They're telling you to go to sleep at a certain time. Listen, there are some people who don't sleep at all. and there's nothing wrong with them. There's one kid who has gray eyes, and in the dark, his eyes glow in the dark. You know, he can actually see in the dark like it's daytime. He's a child. He's Asian. He's like 5 years old. No, he's older than that. It's like 8. But he can see in the dark just like a cat can see. There's all these amazing abilities that are waking up in people. There's a girl who can actually summon fire. She's like 5 years old when they figured out she could do this because her village kept burning down. His house in the village kept burning down, and they would call the police and they wouldn't know what was going on when they figured out, well, it was her. She's able to literally start a fire with a couple words. You have another girl, and this was in India. You have another girl who's also in India who's able to read her mother's mind. Think about that. Like, we make jokes about stuff like that. This girl can literally tell what her mother's thinking verbatim. We can tell what our mother's thinking because we don't want to get hit upside the head. She literally knows what her mother's thinking. If her mother's counting to 50, the little girl is counting to 50. If her mother stops on 29, the little girl would say she stopped on 29. How? They don't know. They don't know how she's doing it. What I'm saying is, why can't everybody do it? See, our latent abilities are showing up all over the planet. And the more these abilities show up, the more they're going to try to keep it from you that you can do these things. They're going to try to make these people seem like they're superheroes or they're super special, or it's because of the region that they live in. It's all nonsense. It's because you're human. If you weren't able to do some of these things, those giants would have wiped out humanity a long time ago. They would have wiped them off the earth a long time ago. This is a reset. Since the flood, it's all a reset. How many times has the Lord reset the planet? There is an actual answer to that. Okay, so when you go back, all right. I don't know to find that out biblically, but there is an actual answer to that. But the population control is a thing that actually happens naturally. Like this whole thing we're going through now, this does not need to happen for the population to be cut down. But here's the thing. There are 7 billion people on the planet? That's actually not enough. Hear me out. Hear me out. You have 7 billion people on the planet. But we know for a fact that we are not the only bipedal creatures on this planet. We've always known this. There's pictures illustrating that we're not alone. We know that there's something else in other species, other intelligent species, that can make war with us and wipe us out in a heartbeat. We know this. We already know that they're here. They've been here. They've been here probably before us. We know this. So when you look at a reset, let's just say that these creatures came out of the woodwork and decided, you know what, we don't want any of you. Or we want to use whatever you have and or use you. We want to use you for what we want. So we're going to make war with you, and we're going to capture you, and we're going to enslave you. And there's many reasons why a being and or creature would want to do this. One of the reasons is our energy signature as far as heat. When you have, okay, in every major city, it's warmer than it is in a valley. It's not because it's a city, it's because there are so many people there. So heat is one thing. Another thing, kinetic energy. We supply a amount of kinetic energy. This is why the mall in Minnesota is so popular, because it's heated by all the people that's walking around. The mega mall is heated by all the people and kinetic energy. Another thing is our organs, our cells, our regenerative power of our cells. Not everything can regenerate their power and or split their cells. As soon as we come into this universe, there's a cell that splits, mitosis, meiosis. Not everything can do that. There's an advantage of it, and one of them is cloning you. They can replicate what you are, so they can build off of what's already built by God. In other words, they can have their own army and control it. All they need is one human. So there's that. Two, our consumption of water. Our body is 77% water. Three, flesh, food source. When we die, we don't go into the earth and then we just lay there and that's it. Something comes and eats us. So we're a major food source. Oh yeah, especially when it comes to the water. When we are on land, we are at the top of the food chain. As soon as you jump into the ocean, you are at the bottom of the food chain. Everything in the ocean eats you. It's the total flip side. And this is why I think wherever these beings are, they're in the ocean. Definitely in the ocean. And there's some other reasons why, these creatures will want us, but there's not enough of us. Because when you look at the wars that we make with each other, look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, how many millions of people got wiped out by those bombs? It wouldn't take too much just to wipe us off the face of the earth. Like it's nothing. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't. So there's really not enough of us. And I don't know why these stupids keep wanting to curb our numbers. It's a bad idea. And they're talking about food. Listen, people are only starving because of the people who are in control are making people starve. They're throwing away food every day. Lots of it. Every single day. They want people to be hungry. There's money in despair. Then they come along and act like they're saving you. They make videos of handing somebody, a sandwich. I hate those videos. They get the most down and desolate person, and they're like, hey, you hungry? We're going to take you to dinner. Look, we took this person to dinner. I hate those videos with a passion. God doesn't like them either. He says if you do something like that, you tell everybody about it, well, then you got your reward. He says do it in secret. If you're going to give somebody a sandwich, just give them a sandwich and keep going. So nonetheless, there are advantages just to the human race itself. There was something else I wanted to say about that. I was going to talk about cellular structure and stuff like that. But, black people, colored people, but especially black people and darker skinned black people have an advantage that no one else on the planet has. And I don't mean the fact that we're faster than everybody else, even though that is an advantage. Our body has melanin in it. This melanin blocks, the sun, but you can still get skin cancer. Nonetheless, I never have. But it blocks against, UV rays. Now, also, they found out that our skin is able to conduct electricity higher than anyone else's. It's melanin that does it. It's a conductor. So when you hear people talk about how they get power from the sun, this is how. They get their sun powered. And this is probably what makes us faster than everyone else. I mean, it's evident we're faster than everyone else. I mean, we're the fastest people on the planet by far. When you look at the fastest man in track and field, Usain Bolt, he ran 9.58. He ran a 9.58. When you look at that race, you don't see no white person. None. When you look at all the records that have been broken, white people stopped breaking records back in the 40s, maybe before that. All the 100-yard records have been broken by black people. All of them. I mean, if you go all the way back to Bullet Bob Hayes, who's the only man who's ever won an Olympic gold in the 100 and who's ever won a Super Bowl. He's the only man that's ever done that. He played for Dallas Cowboys. And, I mean, and you go back even further to Jesse Owens. Right before Jesse Owens, white people were breaking the 100-yard dash record. Black people weren't doing it because we weren't competing against them. But as soon as we start competing against them, they found out real quick that the fastest humans on the planet are black people. Sun-powered. And if you really look at that and start picking it apart, look at all of the black people that won or has broken the record. Look at all the black men that have broken the record, and even women. Look at all of them. All except one of them is light-skinned. The only light-skinned one who's broken the record and still has it is FloJo, but that's about to go down. I mean, think about that. The Jamaican chick just ran a 10:58 or something like that. She beat FloJo's record, but she hasn't ran. She beat FloJo's record in the Olympics, but she hasn't ran faster than FloJo, period. She's going to Elaine Thompson, hurrah. I mean, just look, and then look right behind her, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. I mean, when you look at Marion Ottey, look at all these women. They're all dark skinned. All of them. Look at the fastest, not milers, marathoners. The one guy just ran the marathon in less than 2 hours. Check your guy or one of those guys. Dark skin. And white people keep asking themselves, why can't they do it? We generate power from the sun. We have an advantage. This is why white people can't run faster than us. The sun hits us, we get power from it, it escalates us. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. All the men who've broken the 100-yard dash record, all of them, all the way back to Jesse Owens, were dark-skinned. And the darker they are, the faster. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out one person that was lighter than Jesse Owens. Bullet Bob Hayes was dark-skinned. There's not one light-skinned person. Not one light-skinned man. Not one. Tyson Gay, he's the same complexion as Jesse Owens. Asafa Powell, same complexion as Jesse Owens. Then it just gets darker. Nicholas Ashmead, he's my complexion. Usain Bolt, my complexion. There's not one light skin. It's all because of this. That's why. That's why we're faster than them. But this is not our only property. This is not the only property of your melanin. Your melanin can do more than that. You don't know how to do it because you don't study it. mean, when you look at the cities that we live in, or just look at the sports that we play, football would not ever be the same if all the black people left. The hits are harder. The speed is off the chain. How they can go from zero. Now, mind you, they have full pads on and just outrun a horse. Boom, within seconds. And a lot of these people you think are big, they're not that big. Emmitt Smith wasn't a big man. Barry Sanders, not a big guy. But look at how fast they can go from zero to top speed. And look at the people who are trying to catch them. It's just blinding speed. They can go from north and be gone. How many fast white people do you know that play football? Professional. Just think about it. Who's the fastest guy right now in professional football? As far as white person. Plays for Jaguars. Forgot his name. Plays for Jacksonville. No, not Jacksonville. He plays for the Panthers. What's that white kid's name? But that's it. How many white receivers are there? How many white receivers are there? I'm curious. For those of you who are watching, how many white receivers are playing football? Do you know any of their names? How many defensive backs are white? I don't know any other names. As a matter of fact, I mean, I don't even watch it that much, but Beanie, he ain't played in a while, but he was a quick dude. His son ain't as quick as he is. Christian McCaffrey is the guy who plays. He's a fast white guy, but is he the fastest on the field? Nope. Sorry about that. Just think. How many receivers are white? Now you can say how many tight ends. Yeah. But actual receivers, as far as wide receivers. How many running backs, tailbacks, not fullbacks, tailbacks? Look at basketball. I mean, you look at who's the fastest guys on the basketball court, and you would think, basketball, you don't need to be fast. Nonsense. You ever see the way LeBron gets down the court? Wilt Chamberlain, was it Wilt Chamberlain? Wilt Chamberlain ran the 100 in like 9.9 seconds. This is the 100-yard dash. Wilt Chamberlain, 7 feet, ran a 100-yard dash faster than most humans. Just drink that in. Who jumps the highest? Who has the record for the long jump? Who jumps the highest? All of these properties, I mean, we go out and make money, but nonetheless, just think if these sports weren't there. And we were, Indians again. Just think about competing against somebody like that for your food. Just think about competing against Shaquille O'Neal for your food. 7'1", 310 pounds in his heyday. And it's either him or you starve. There are going to be a lot of starving people. I'm just saying, we are sun powered, and I'm making it my business to find out exactly what that is. I want to know what abilities can I use for one, to defend myself 100%, because we're getting slaughtered out here. We're getting wiped out. Once we get pulled over, we are at the mercy of people who don't like us. If we don't pull over, we're at their mercy. I mean, it is dangerous to drive now. It really is. I mean, we're getting slaughtered. There are a lot of people who are missing. Missing men, women, and children. I know people care less about men, but not me. There's a man missing, I care about them too. Because that person has a family. I don't just care about little girls. Oh, little girls missing, everybody's... No, and the father's missing. Well, okay, how's she going to survive when she gets back? The father's not there to feed her. She's got to go into child care. Now she's really screwed. And quit thinking that a father is obsolete. It just sickens me when these goofy women do this. The father is mad important. He's the one who protects the whole family. If he's not there, then the family is vulnerable. Listen to the way some of these predators talk. If the father's not there, they go ahead and prey on that woman and those children. That's what they say. That father is crazy, crazy important. Because there's always a low level of violence when it comes to men. You step across a line, there's going to be violence. That's it. You choose violence when you come across that line. Is this what you want? Is it going to work out for you? But when there's no man, they don't look at the woman and think the same thing. They think she's vulnerable, and she is. And she can be just as crazy as she want to be. It doesn't matter. So men are very, very, very important. And we're getting slaughtered, especially if you look like me. Why? Because of our skin. There's a reason why people are afraid of dark-skinned people. And it's not because black is ugly. It's not what's going on. It's because black is deadly. There are amenities that we have that other people just don't have. This is why when they're pulling you over and getting you out the car and they're putting you in handcuffs illegally. You know what they're saying? Officer safety. Because they can use officer safety for anything. They're kidnapping you using officer safety. They're illegally frisking you using officer safety. It's a lie. They are afraid of you. Now, here's the thing. To every action, there's a reaction. And now, and if you go back to your cellular structure, your cells that are still growing, your cells, when they reproduce under stress. So when you go and you lift weight, you get stronger the more weight you lift, right? Even your mind gets stronger when it realizes this is, in a pressure cooker. So now that you're seeing all this death that's happening to men who are defenseless, women who are defenseless, children who are defenseless, your cells are automatically reacting to that. Now, of course, you have people who are running from the police and they're not catching them because it's a fight or flight, the autonomic system. It's fight or flight. What are we going to do? Well, I'm running because I know you're just going to kill me and go on vacation. Or you have some people who are so strong they can break out of handcuffs. You got people who are just being shot for nothing. I mean, they're just shooting us just for game. That's what we are. We're sport to them. Well, okay. If we go ahead and awaken the strength that's in our melanin from millennia ago and start using the strength and speed and cunning instead of sitting down all day and, watching Kim Kardashian. Big ups to Kim. She's a good businesswoman. But I'm just saying, that's what all these shows are for. Sit down and watch the show. No, go and figure out what your skin is made of. Look up and find out what frequency your body is operating on. Figure out how to use your chi, just in case somebody does snatch you and it's against your will. Put you in the back of a police car and you know you don't belong there. You can't do anything. They're shooting people in the back of the head in the police car and then saying that these people shot themselves. No, you're in trouble if you're handcuffed. You're in big trouble. And you're at their mercy. They can do whatever they want to do. And the more lawlessness we live under, the less you're going to actually make it to a jail cell. And when you do get there, you can still get offed. Look what happened to Sandra Bland. You think if she knew all of her power, that would have happened to her? No, she would have broke out of there. She would have never went. They took her to jail for a traffic ticket, for a turn signal. She died for a turn signal. A turn signal. They put her in handcuffs and killed her from a turn signal. No, this has to stop. You have to realize what you are and how powerful you are. And this is not no metaphorical nonsense. You hear this kind of speech and people talk about, you are so powerful. Yeah, but they're not telling you anything. I'm telling you to investigate your frequency. Find out exactly what the sun does for you. Find out how much energy you can radiate at one time and break out of those handcuffs. Find out how speed works, how your fast and slow twitch muscles work so you can actually get away from these problems. You can, because they're not all on your side. Now, some of y'all are just doing stuff and you're going to end up in jail because you're not being smart. But I'm talking about the people who know that they're being arrested for bullcrap, for false reasons where they should have just got a ticket, if anything. But they're being arrested, and the officer is the one who caused the whole conundrum just so they can get paid more for, taking you to jail. This is really what's happening. Some of them what they're doing is to get overtime. Look, they'll wait. Let's say that their shift ends at 9 o'clock p.m. They know their shift is coming up. They'll go out and harass somebody and pick them up just so they can get the overtime money. This is really happening. Just so they can get overtime money, they'll see somebody, hey, what are you doing? Come here. If you run away from them, it's fleeing to something or it's resisting. You're like, I'm not doing anything. I don't have to come anywhere. Yeah, you do. Get over here. Blah, 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 boom. Next thing you know, they're calling your buddies and the dogs, and you're pinned to the ground. What did I do? When I told you to come here, you should have came here. This is actually happening. Well, while these things are happening, what also happening is the reaction to it. Your body, your mind, God, the relationship between you. This is happening too. Now you have people who are not sitting still when they say come in, they're taking off. And they're running faster You got old people who are running faster than they ever have. You got people who are their their physical response is quicker than what they ever thought. Why? Because this is the pressure cooker that we're living under, and your cells are still split. They're still growing. And if you knew what your signature was, hell, you might not even have to run. You could just say no and stand there and turn your skin to stone. Just look out. These things are actually possible. And we know that they're possible because of the monks illustrate it all the time. And some of the Asian soldiers illustrate it all the time. The things that your body can do, it's just that you're not training your body to do it. Some of these people punching through walls with the quickness, just taking poles to their neck, and and nails not even going through them, and all this other kind of stuff, and their skin super hard, and and getting hit in all kind of places, and it's not hurting them. This is actual thing. And if you knew how to do that, and one of these officers, jumped on you and started beating on you, you would survive a lot more. See, a lot of times people die is not because of blunt force trauma. They die because of trauma. They die because of panic attacks. They die because an asthma attack causes heart attacks. A lot of people die from them. A lot of their injuries is not what killed them. It's the sudden adrenaline rush and them not knowing what to do, and then boom, they're gone. It's called being scared to death. It's actually a thing. You can scare somebody to death. Their heart reacts, boom. That's it. But if you actually knew how to regulate your body, your skin, it's the largest organ on your body is your skin. If you knew how to transfer energy from the electrodes and all that into that's running through your body, you have a lot of electricity running through your body. This is why some people get hit by lightning more than once. You have a lot of electricity running through your body. You know how to take that electricity and fold it many times over, you'd be untouchable. And you can do this. There are people who are walking around electrolysis. Their body absorbs electricity, and a lot of them are magnetized. You ever walk up to somebody and touch them and you shock them? And the story is you dragged your feet along the carpet, yada, 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 and you shocked them. I mean, just think about that. Just think, you just created a bolt that extended from your hand out to somebody else. And you're so casual about it. Oh, it's cute. You're not really thinking that I created a weapon. You didn't only create a weapon, you are the weapon. Just think about folding that shock and then sending that shock out in every direction, controlled. So you think you can't do it, but the truth is you can. Nikolai Tesla taught us something very, very important. When Nikolai Tesla was trying to show J.P. Morgan and forgot the other guy's name, both of those greedy bastards, what he showed them was there are electric currents that you can use that will not harm you. They'll go straight through your body, and you can have the current coming from here and light up a light bulb. You can hold that light bulb in your hand, and electricity will go right through, light that light bulb up. Nikolai Tesla taught us that. He said electricity is free, and it's all over the planet. It's everywhere. You just tap into it. They were like, no, we're not going to do that. What we want to do is monetize it. We want people to pay for electricity. See, the reason why you're paying for electricity is because you don't know how to summon the other part of electricity. There is more than one current of electricity, but you don't know that current. There is more than two, as a matter of fact. And the electricity, you know why this electricity is harmful to us? Because it's not flowing in the same direction as your electricity. If you knew the electricity that was flowing the same way your body was, that electricity would not hurt you. However, that electricity can hurt somebody else if their electricity is negative to yours. That's what this is. This is negative electricity. This is why it will kill you if you touch it. It'll shock you. It'll fry you like a chicken if you touch it. However, if this was positive electricity and your electricity is positive, you can light up this whole room like it's nothing. That's the reason why this is dangerous. But this is what they created, and they told you it's good for you. And you're living this way so long, you just say, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go with what they're doing. So you pay your electric bill and you use negative electricity without even investigating the electricity that's actually running through your body. See, The Matrix was such an interesting movie because The Matrix, if you look at the Animatrix, which is a 6-series animation about how the Matrix was created, if you look at that, it'll show you that the reason why the robots took over is because we built the robots through an AI system. That AI system became sentient. And one day the AI system woke up and it was a robot serving its masters, humans. And the humans decided they didn't want it anymore. So it killed the woman. And then they took the AI robot to court and they said, why did you kill this woman? And its answer was, because I didn't want to die. Shortly after, people went out and started smashing up all AI robots. The AI robots were all alive, so what did they do? They moved out to the desert. And when they moved out to the desert, they created their own society that was better than ours. They created cars, housing, and all that other stuff, and they sold it to us. And their cars ran better than our cars. Their ships did better than ours because they were all powered by the sun, so on and so forth. But it wasn't really that they were all powered by the sun. So what happened with us? We became jealous of them, and we decided that we're going to kill them. We're going to go to war with them. Well, they tried to send us a peace treaty, and we killed the messenger. When we killed the messenger, they said, okay, fine, it's all out war. So they built war machines to come up against our war machines. Well, guess who won the war? See, we tried to win the war by blocking out the sun. How they did it? Chemtrails. They blocked out the sun because they figured that if the robots had no sun, then they had no power. Wrong. The robots were like, we use the sun for power, but it's not only our only sense of power. We just need power. So where are we going to get power that's running around on a planet if we can't get it from the sun? The units, the BT units that are running through your body naturally, you are a power source naturally. So that's what they did. They didn't kill all the humans. They captured them and used them for power. You are a living battery. This is a fact. But just go watch the Animatrix. It's really interesting, but it's all true. So Neo, well, you know how Neo became the one. Well, he was not actually the one. He was the one of many because the system kept collapsing whenever Neo would come and break out of the system. Then they would rebuild the system. Then he would come and do it again, rebuild, do it again, so on and so forth. So they kept killing all those humans and then putting them back where they belong because those humans became free. They realized that there were two different worlds and one is a lie. Once they were awoke to what the lie was, they realized the nightmare and the hell that they're actually living in. And they were just trying to survive. See, the people that were running around with Neo that were awake were never trying to win the war against the machines. They were only trying to survive. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. When you're in total acceptance, they win the war. When you're not trying to see what's behind door number 2, they win the war. Now, you may think this is all metaphoric, but look at the death toll. Look at how people die. Look at what they're doing now with the whole virus. I mean, you got to wake up to it. You are far more powerful than what they make you seem you are. They make you get born, go to 12 years of school, then go to another 4 years of school, only to perform what they want you to do. Anyone who breaks out of that, if your signature is strong enough, they actually kill you. Anyone who tries to change the status quo of what's going on, they call you abnormal. They castigate you and they laugh at you. Now, if you're one of these people who try to have a different energy source, like, you know what? We don't need gas to run our vehicles. We could just use water. Hell, we could use, this. And then they come and say, you know what? I see that it works, but I think you're a fraud. First thing they try to do is take your name from you. They try to discredit what you've done. It's the first thing they try to do. Second thing they try to do is try to discredit what you have. Everything you have. Then they reach out and try to discredit your family, harass your family. And when none of these things work, they say, we'll buy the patent from you. So they can use it and destroy it. They can do whatever they want with it. You're like, no, I'm not going to sell you the patent. So once they figure they can't get nothing on you and they can't buy the patent, it's only a short amount of time before they kill you. And that's what happened to the guy who made cars run off of water. That was one of them. This was back in the 80s. There's another guy, it was a young white dude. These are all white people now. There's a young white guy who figured out that you can go further. It was like he was illustrating how you can take a single tank of gas and you can go over 100 miles. This is back in, like I said, the 70s and 80s, where you had these big old, where you can get 10 miles to the gallon. He was taking a gallon and going 100 miles. So they came to see him, the car companies, and they wanted to see how he was going to make a single tank go 100 miles. How are you're going to take 1 gallon and go 100 miles? If you fill the tank up and it's a 15-gallon tank, well, you're halfway across America. How are you doing this? Well, they showed pictures of it because I didn't fully understand it. But basically, what he did was he was running hoses from the gas tank outside of the car into the engine. And he had several hoses doing this. And I don't understand how he did it. But nonetheless, they killed him. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go. It's nice talking to you guys. Thank you for listening. You guys have a good evening. God bless you. And find out what your signature is. Peace.